So hi and welcome. We've done a number of updates during the course of the year, and we thought it would be timely heading into 2019 that we just reflect a little bit on the year, but also look forward to, I guess, what next year's got installed for us. We've just come off a really exciting graduate conference in Melbourne, where there was in excess of, I think, 400 graduate managers. So it was great to get an insight into what the pulse of graduate managers is at the moment. And most of them have been asking us, hey, where are we heading into 2019? What are the trends? What are we seeing in terms of the volumes that we do, in terms of being best practice methodologies that will probably be relying on in 2019. So we wanted to take you through just a couple that we're seeing in terms of trends. I think the time to market next year is going to be critical. Justin, what's your opinion on time to market?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think speed is critical. Some recent research indicated that 71% of graduates would abandon the application form if it takes them more than 15 minutes. For testing, if it's more than about 30-35 minutes, more than half would stop the testing. So that speed is super important to ensure that graduates remain engaged with the process.
Yeah, and most programs we talk to, they're asking us how long should it take, and I'm saying you should be attracting out in market. You know, most people do March or back end July, August, 4 weeks to attract, probably another 4 to 6 weeks to recruit. Our recruitment process needs to be super speedy, and we'll talk about candidate experience in the overarching experience, but it needs to be fairly quick. And what we're finding is if we can make offers at that 5th, 6th week mark and have an engaging campaign, engaging recruitment process with ongoing feedback, we're not losing too many candidates in terms of how we do that. And I think the key to it is to ensure that you've got a solid ATS, a recruitment system behind you. Ali, how are you using the recruitment system to your advantage?
Yeah, so we're using the recruitment system so that we can meet those tight timeframes in terms of getting those offers out and being able to move through a large number of applicants. We know that graduate industry has quite a lot of applicants applying within a short time frame, so it's important for your ATS to be able to handle uploads including resumes, CVs, transcripts and proof of residency, as well as a photo, as well as being able to customise that full application form to get those metrics out that you need through the process.
And I guess within Palm dashboards, not only do graduate managers have the ability, but also the stakeholders around the business who we're trying to engage more have access to all the statistics as applicants are coming in live. And I think that's important in an age where we're talking D&I and how do we adjust during campaign to make sure we're addressing key areas that we're recruiting for. If we know what we've got on a daily basis, we're able to subtly change our program heading into next year. You had a lot of success this year, and it's something we're probably going to implement across the board with all our clients in terms of an EOI, or an expression of interest. And what an expression of interest is probably a dulled down 30 percentile component of your application form, so not a full application form. Al, tell us a little bit more about what you're doing with Queensland Government.
So it's about collating data that you can draw upon, including personal information, and engage those applicants from an early stage to keep them updated on when applications go live. So not when your roles are ready to go, but when your applications do eventually go live, you can engage those applicants that are already in your database and target those individuals, including if you have set targets for females, you can specifically run information sessions to engage those candidates from an early stage. And
I think for Queensland Government, if we think of some of the figures that we had, so before we actually went live, officially live with the full application form, we had an expression of interest open for 3-4 weeks, couple months.
3-4 weeks.
3-4 weeks.
Yeah, there was one that was going for about 3 months.
Yeah, and how many applications or pre-applications expressions of interest?
We had about 3,500.
Fantastic, which we're able to then convert into real applications. So it starts I guess it creates a lot of good energy early, and I'm saying for those employers that are recruiting early in the year next year, maybe have it open before Christmas, and that's our plan with most of our clients. So if we can build a talent pool early, we can even start engaging with them at information sessions in February whilst everyone else is going live. So you're creating some competitive advantage in terms of that. Justin, just give us your take on where you're seeing the testing market going.
Yeah, I think testing is becoming increasingly sophisticated. There are more types of testing than we've probably ever seen, both gamified testing and the more traditional psychometric testing. And a theme that came out of the recent AAGE conference was around moving from assessing based on academics at the point of application and placing more reliance on these tests. And we have more data. Employers are feeling more confident about the output of these assessments, and statistically we know they're one of the strongest predictors of future performance. So placing more reliance on that assessment up front, and where possible blending that, so using a mix of your traditional psychometric tests with behavioural testing, and if your numbers warrant, potentially even situational judgment testing as well, and getting all of that data up front to make valid and reliable decisions about who to take forward over culling by academic grades alone.
And I think traditionally the graduate market has used the term, we need to screen out to meet your fiscal requirements of running a recruitment process. What we're encouraging people to do is to find the right provider and to actually get the testing that will help you actually screen in. Because the more candidates that we can actually put through testing that's of a higher quality, the more data we're getting to make reliable, legally defensible recruitment decisions. So have a good look at your testing providers, and please feel free to have a conversation about it. But it's a key area heading into next year in terms of the speed, automatic feedback on all testing.
Critical. Our Generation Z applicants now are used to receiving things instantaneously, getting that instant gratification. So having a report that comes from the system straight away, even if it places them on hold or keeps them warm for a short period of time whilst the results is considered, is a must.
And just to leave you on, I guess, the last major point of innovation that we've experienced this year, and people say, oh, how do you do it? I think in one massive case we recruited in 3.5 weeks. And I think when we look at assessment centre methodology, it has changed so much, Ellie, in terms of the way we've designed this year, being able to, in one day, tell us about it. What are you doing in one day at Assessment Centre?
So in one day we're now looking at doing 2 group activities, as well as each candidate being able to do an individual presentation through pre-work, as well as an interview component. So each candidate is being able to be seen through a variety of different activities and display their own strengths.
So Assessment Centre, interview one day, and offer virtually that night. The key to the success is being able to support it, and what we're finding is we're supporting it using DAC, or our Digital Assessment Centre tool, with everything built in an iPad. So as soon as we click the save button, the data's going into an integration room, and more importantly, heading into next year, the candidates from DAC will be able to get an automatic feedback report on how they performed at Assessment Centre and at interview. And this is just overarching, improving the candidate experience. We hope you've enjoyed our Insight series. My name is David Svetkovsky.
Justin Fay.
And Ali Snodgrass.
And it's been our pleasure. Thanking you.